The real power of digital marketing comes from the fact that we're able to really target our message to the right person at the right time. So if you want to do email right, you need to stop blasting all of your messages to all of your people and instead find ways to deliver the right email to the right person at the right time. So how do you do that? Well, the answer is simple and complicated all at once, which it often is in life. The simple answer is you need to segment your list. You need to make sure that you have different segments that will help you understand the journey that people are on. Now, every email service provider will have the ability to do this, whether it's with tags or segments or lists. You can do it a lot of different ways based upon your email provider. The what to do can be kind of simple, but figuring out how to segment is the real magic. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode of Bobby Ruins Marketing, the email edition. So hey there, welcome to today's episode of Bobby Ruins Marketing, the email edition. If you don't know me, I'm Bobby Klink. I'm a Harvard Law grad turned online entrepreneur who I've done a lot of things in my time, but I became known as the email guy after a while because my emails built a cult following. And I've done great things when you look at revenue generated based upon the size of my list and all those things. So a lot of people have asked me how I do it. And so that's why I talk to people and help people understand how to do email right. And in today's episode and kind of this video, I want to talk about how to segment your list, how to kind of keep the relevant information, relevant data about people on your list so that you can make the decisions later on to send the right message at the right time. That's what we're talking about. And I want to talk about it in a few different ways. First, I'm going to talk about kind of the segments that every marketer needs to have for their list. Kind of every person needs to have a few segments and then some additional segments you might want to keep, data you might want to be tracking about people based upon your particular situation. So let's start by talking about, the three different segments that every single email marketer is going to need. First, you need a segment that is for your weekly emails. In other words, who are the people who will be getting your standard every single week email you're sending out? In my case, I happen to send out 2 weekly emails. I send a Tuesday weekly email, which is on the release of my podcast, and it's a story and then a call to action to listen to the podcast. And I send a Friday email, which is a roundup email. Call it a newsletter if you want, which kind of has a few different things. I rant about something. I give some marketing tips or a marketing tip. I refer to a marketing resource. And then we have a roundup of the content that I've put out that week. So that's kind of my thing. So I have to have a segment to say, who is that going to? And that's kind of your standard list of those people. Then you're going to need one or more kind of segments based upon customers that tell you this person has purchased X product. If you only have one product, you only have to have one customer segment. If you got 600 products, you need 600 customer segments. Basically, you need to be able to know based on a tag or something like that this subscriber has purchased XYZ products. You're going to need that because you might sometimes need to send an email to them to tell them an update about the product, or you might need to exclude them. For example, if you're promoting that product, you want to exclude those people from the emails. Now, other times you might say, well, if this group has bought product X, they're going to be a perfect fit for this new product I've introduced. So I want to send an email specifically to the people who purchased product X. And in the emails, I can talk about the fact that as someone who's already bought this, you're going to want that. So you can see how having those segments, first of all, lets you decide who to send an email to, but also how to tailor your messaging. And now you're not going to do that all the time, but sometimes that tailoring of your messaging will be worth doing. You can only do that if you have some kind of way to tell who has bought what. So you need that through tags or segments or something within your email service provider. Now, the last kind of group of segments that every entrepreneur needs are what I would call freebie download segments. And what I mean by this is you need to know which of your freebies, or at least which of your active freebies, people have downloaded. Now, if you only have one, not that big of a deal. But if you have a lot of different freebies and if they're on different subjects, knowing which freebies a given person has downloaded can be important, just the same as it would be with what they bought. you might want to send an email specifically to people who have signed up for a single freebie because they would be particularly interested in a certain product or in a certain next freebie. So you can see how having that data is relevant. So you need that segment. So those are kind of the three segments. Everybody needs kind of your standard who's getting my weekly email, segments for each one of your products of who's bought them, and then segments for each freebie to say who's downloaded them. So you need those for sure. Now let's talk about other segments that you might need based upon your business. Now, if it applies to your business, you should have these. Now, if it doesn't apply, you don't have them. The first category I'm going to talk about is if you have different customer avatars, you should have something as much as possible. Now maybe you don't have this data, but if you can find this data, getting it will be helpful. And what do I mean by different business avatars or different customer avatars? I'll use my example as a very simple thing. I serve course creators, coaches, membership owners, service providers. Knowing where does a person fall helps me speak to them. If I know someone is a course creator, I might want to talk to them if I run a promotion of my course, my course creators legal pack. So it's a pack of legal templates designed for course creators. So I'd want to send that to them if I'm running a promotion of that. But if I know someone else is a service provider and doesn't have a course, ideally I don't want to send that promo to them because they don't care about that. It allows me to target promotions to the right people. So you can see how this can be valuable. Now, how you do this will be difficult. It'll be through a quiz or through something as they sign up for your list, or you can do segmenting in emails every once in a while that you ask people to let you know what do they consider themselves? So you can kind of like figure that out. You could do this in different ways, but if you can get that data, it's very helpful. For some of you, that won't be the case. For some people, you'll only have one avatar. They're all on the same journey. Then you don't have to worry about this. But if you have people coming on different journeys, then knowing where they fit is valuable. The other thing, or a second kind of type of segmenting that might be valuable, is the stage they're on in their journey. Again, I'll use my business as an example. Some people are just starting out, haven't done anything yet. Some people have put something out there but are not making money yet. Some people are making a little bit of money, but they're not yet making enough money to even cover their expenses. Other people are making a good amount of money and are looking to scale and build a team. Well, again, you can see how knowing those different things will help give me a sense of how to talk to those different people. Talking to the very beginning people, like if I were running a promotion on a product that's about the legal templates for team building, well, talking to people at the very beginning who haven't done anything, they're not going to be interested. So I can simply segment out and not even send that email to them because I know they don't need it. But on the other hand, the people who are looking to scale, I probably don't need to send them an email maybe if it's promoting, hey, make sure you have your website legal policies in place, because hopefully somebody who's at six figures or above, they've already got that stuff in place. So you can kind of see how these different things fit differently and help me tailor the right message to the right person. So that's kind of another group. Now, another thing you want to think about, if you have a quiz or assessment that you run in your business, as much as possible, you want to collect the data about the answers, what is their result, and the other stuff you're collecting so you know those things. Now, I'm not going to go into all the questions you might ask in a quiz, but if you're asking something in a quiz, presumably you're doing it because knowing that will have some value to you. So you want to have those tags so you know that as well. Okay, now the next category that we're going to talk about is kind of the level of engagement. Are people hot, warm, or cold? Now, you don't have to get too detailed, but theoretically, you want to at least know, are people engaged, opening, clicking versus cold, they haven't engaged in a while. You're going to use this for a lot of different things, partly because you're going to send more emails to people who are more engaged. People who are opening, clicking, loving your stuff, hey, they like you. They want to hear from you. So maybe you'll send more to them. People who are cold, maybe you're like, well, they don't want to hear from me as much. And eventually you'll scrub them off your list entirely. And if they don't engage, so tracking that is important. Next segment that you might have, if you are actively scrubbing people off your list, you'll have a segment of inactive leads. These are the people that are still on your list. They didn't unsubscribe. They didn't say, no, don't talk to me. But you've made the decision. You are not going to email them because they've been inactive. They simply haven't opened or engaged, etc. That's valuable, partly because you might want to use that list to target those specific people with some ads on Facebook or another platform where you can try to get them back, try to really kind of get them more engaged again. But they can be a valuable segment, but you have to have that list as a segment. And again, this is not people who have unsubscribed. You're not allowed, FYI, by Facebook's terms of use. You can't take people who have affirmatively unsubscribed and target them with ads. But people who you have simply decided that you're not going to email and made inactive, you can. So that's a group you might have as well. Now, another thing, and this one is really nuanced, is if you have people who have access to like certain membership sites, whether they're a customer or not, you need to have a track of that with segments of some sort. So in our system, for example, we use Access Ally for our BADA Online Marketing University, but also for our legal templates. So that's where everything is housed. And we have to have a tag and a segment for everyone based on everything they have access to, whether they paid for it or not. Maybe they got it as a bonus, maybe that we have to have that tracked and tagged so that we know and we can adjust. So it's not just customers, it's basically anyone who has access to things. So that's kind of a nuanced space. Now, the last thing that you would want to do is not general, but it's more during a promotion. You'll often want to track level of engagement. So if you're doing a 7-day promotion and you're, say, going to send an email, multiple emails during that thing, you want to be tracking how engaged are people. Are people opening? Are people visiting your sales page? Are people clicking through? Those kinds of things. You'll want to track those people because, again, the more engaged people, you generally want to focus your efforts on them. So tracking their level of engagement during promotions is also useful. Now, those segments you'll generally get rid of after the promotion is over, but during the promotion, it's incredibly valuable. So that's kind of the next level of segmenting. So you can start to see from this discussion that when you start tracking this data, you have the ability to really get granular with your messaging and really send people the right message and kind of trigger the right things based upon what they're doing. And that's powerful. So that's something you want to start doing. You want to make sure that you're segmenting and keeping this data so that you can tailor your email marketing to really kind of have the maximum impact. Now, don't feel overwhelmed by this. If you're just starting out, you just want to focus mainly on those top 3 customer list freebie downloads and kind of like weekly emails. Just keep that stuff. But the idea is the more that you're tracking this stuff from the beginning, the easier it is. If you just set up a process so it happens automatically in the background, you don't have to worry about it later. So if you're enjoying this, if you want to learn more about email marketing, my course, Badass Email Marketing, is completely free inside of BADA Online Marketing University, BOMU, which is also free. You can sign up over at bobbyklink.com/BOMU. That's BOMU. It is a program that's a labor of love. My team and I have put it together because we have this crazy belief that you shouldn't have to spend money to learn the things you need to know to build an online business. So we're giving all our training away for free. You can sign up at bobbyklink.com/BOMU. There's an entire course about email marketing. There's courses about list building. We have a lot of stuff coming down the pike to make it even better. So you can get in there and learn the skills you need to build your online business. So that's call to action 1. My call to action 2, make sure to check out, I have a video about how to kind of get people to open your emails. And it's not what you think. So go ahead and check out that video about how to increase your open rate. So talk to you later.